Hello guys, my name is Annette and this channel is dedicated to all the things I love and care about, starting with astrology and relationships. And since Valentine's is just upon us, I decided to make this video all about the 7th house in astrology, which is about long-term relationships, marriage, and yes, business partnerships. Let's not forget that because that can get pretty personal, business partnerships. And it's also about your shadow side. So we'll get into that shadow aspect of this house in just a smidge. But let's say you have Gemini there. The sign Gemini is ruling this house. Then you would be attracted to people that are very talkative and they're very intellectual and they just have a lot going up there, Let's say you have Cancer in the 7th house, and you'd be attracted to people that are very nurturing and caring and like home first and like home comes first, and like when you come after a long day at work, your place, the home is beautifully cleaned and you have an awesome dinner waiting for you. Like that's the kind of person they'd be attracted to, Let's say you have Capricorn there, then you would be attracted to a person who's very hardworking, and your relationship with them would be very like structured and like work oriented. Not that it would be lacking romance, but like both of you would be a lot into working a lot and reaching goals. And when it comes to romance and you guys' intimacy, it would be like very structured. That would be with Capricorn in the 7th house. Let's say you have Aquarius there, then you would be totally fine with your partner being away for long periods of time, or you would be one of those persons who can actually handle long distance relationships. And Aquarius there can be a little tumultuous depending on what else is going on there. But generally speaking, Aquarius will give you very unique partners. But then also it gives you the ability to be very fine with space. You would need a lot of space from your partner. But at the same time, you would be very secure in yourself, regardless of whether that person is like next to you or not. Let's say you have Virgo there, then you would be very like meticulous when it comes to relationships. You'd be very like, we need to plan ahead of time, everything like plan, organize, just like Virgo, Virgos are the organizers of the Zodiac. You would be very like down to earth too. Like the person you would be attracted to wouldn't be like all flashy, maybe would have a lot of like natural beauty. That's Virgo in the 7th house kind of situation. And also for all, it could be like also like a nurse or a healer, because Virgo rules medicine and people that heal other people, such as doctors and nurses and people that work in the medicine field, in the medical field. So anything like that would be like Virgo in the 7th house. And this depicts the kind of person that you would be best suited to be in a relationship with. And also the best way that long-term relationships would work for you. Now, if you have lots of planets here, before we get there, the 7th house is your shadow side, because the whole point about like getting in a relationship with someone and like being in a partnership, it's kind of like for this mirroring to happen, for kind of like to see the things you can see being reflected to you by dating this other person. So when you first fall in love and when you first meet someone, you're like, oh, they're so perfect, or I like them so much, I'm so smitten by them, whatever the situation is. Whoever you end up with, being long-term with or marrying, you're probably going to feel like that about them. And you're just so enamored and smitten by them, But once you actually start living with them and spending long periods of time with them, like things start to come up. And that's why when you meet like the right person, you feel so whole, because essentially in the longer aspect of things and the longer term of things, that person is here to make you whole. It's here to make you whole to a certain extent. Doesn't mean that you can be whole on your own, but it's here to bring things up to the surface that you're not aware of, so you can accept yourself more, so you can know yourself more. And essentially those things that you reject about your partner or that really bother you, like even can be something as silly as a pet peeve or something much more like serious, those are aspects of yourself that you actually have inside of you that you're suppressing. But when you date the person that's really right for you and that you end up being with long term, they reflect a lot of those things upon you. And then it's kind of like all these things are brought to the surface, and then you're aware of aspects of yourself that you didn't even know existed or that were even there. And it's kind of like, how can you change something or fully really accept yourself if you don't even know everything that's there? And that's why relationships feel so good and they make people feel whole. And that's why when you meet like the right person, you're like, oh yeah, because eventually shit's gonna come up in the way that they're reflecting back to you. And yeah, I mean, obviously that's not always super enjoyable. That's not always like, woo, you know, but that's just how it goes. You know, you move in with someone, this and this and that, you experience growth. And that's another reason why relationships cause so much growth in a person's life, you know, because you're literally like seeing a mirror of you to a certain extent. It's not all of you, but you're seeing parts of you that you're like not aware of. And then that helps you grow, and that helps like accept yourself, and that helps you change things if there's things about yourself that you want to change, you know? You can't possibly tweak something or change a mindset about yourself or change something that you do if you're not even aware that it's there, you know? So that's why the 7th house is so important in astrology, because it's the person's shadow side. And it's also the way people will do relationships. And relationships are so important because they bring so much contrast and growth in people's lives. You know, so let's say you have lots of planets there. It simply means you're not aware quite a bit of the way you handle close relationships and in the way you do romantic relationships. But at the same time, it's like a blessing and a curse, because the 7th house is an angular house. So I don't wanna bring down anybody that has like lots of planets in the 7th house and be like, excuse me, are you trying to call me selfish or egotistical? No. I'm just simply implying that you probably are just not aware of how you treat others when it comes to romantic relationships or very close relationships, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that, because if you have lots of planets there, you're probably gonna have quite a bit of different relationships and interesting interactions with other individuals that will really help you realize what's going on there, like what's behind there, you know? Because essentially, like any planets that you have there, it's just things that you're not aware of because they're behind you. It's your shadow side. How can you see it if it's back there, you know? And at the same time, if you do have lots of planets here, you're very talented because it's looking straight at your 1st house. Anything in the 7th house is looking at your 1st house of self and personality. So that means you're actually really talented. And it's kind of like, well, you get one and then you kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? And then you kind of lack a little bit on this other area. You know, you can't have it all, man, okay? So if you have lots of planets there, I'm not hating on you. It just means that you're probably a little bit selfish when it comes to relationships. It just means that you're probably it's gonna take a few tries before you get it right, you know? But then on the plus side, it means you're very talented and you have lots of skills, because all those planets looking at your 1st house is extremely important. Anything that hits the 1st house is like boom, boom. Talents and skills and charisma and just so many things. So let's say you only have one planet there, for example. Let's say you have your sun there in the 7th house. It means that you oftentimes sacrifice romantic relationships for work and to follow your higher purpose and what makes you happy in life and whatnot. But like I said, that's what these things are there for. The 7th house is ruled by Libra, which is all about balance. So anything there is there to make you balance. You know, it's there to like eventually make you aware of these things and make you just more balanced, stable, just beautiful, stable foundation of your life. Anyway, so let's say you have Jupiter there. It's probably gonna give you very round features in your face. Probably gonna make you a little meaty, and it's also gonna make you you're probably gonna have a couple of degrees under your belt, because Jupiter rules education and higher learning and whatnot. So let's say you have the moon there. That's gonna make you very Mother Teresa, very caring, very nurturing, but then also you're probably gonna have quite a bit of children in your life. You're gonna not just want to have one kid, but maybe like 5 kids. That would be like a moon in the 7th house. It doesn't always mean, oh, you're gonna have a bunch of kids if you have the moon, simply just the moon there, you know. Several factors would indicate that, but it could also just make you a very good cook. You could be like, what is that very famous lady that has a channel? Martha Stewart. You could be like a Martha Stewart. She's like, she knows everything about the home, and she's just so she's like the queen of having the perfect home and decorations and cooking, and she's just so nurturing and cozy. It would make you very Martha Stewart-ish. So that concludes this video on the 7th house in astrology, which I can literally talk about it all day, but it's starting to get a little bit dark outside and my face is starting to look a little shadowy. No pun intended. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. If you like a reading by yours truly, I'll put the link down below, and you just have to copy and paste it on the browser and all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.